Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Marlies and this is BitKnits. This video is another Mystery Monday make. In this series, I have curated 14 summer free patterns from the internet. These are all projects that should be relatively quick, simple, easy, things that I can finish hopefully in 1 week. Over the last 2 weeks, we've made a floral cami, and last week we made a sun hat. In this video, we're going to go spin the wheel and see what we'll be making. So week 3, we're going to be making a prayer shawl. I'm actually very excited about this project because I've been wanting to make a shawl. I just haven't found a pattern, I guess. So here is the perfect opportunity for me to crochet a shawl. I've got all of my yarn back here behind me. In this series, I'm just using scrap yarn, whatever I have in my stash. I'm not going to go out and purchase any new yarns. So let's take a look at the yarns that I have available. The pattern recommends just a 4-weight acrylic yarn. I have a few ideas, but let's see what we've got. I've got some yarns up here that are self-striping or a variegated multicolor type yarn. Down here, I've got this Ferris wheel. That would be really pretty. Color is Imaginary Garden, and it is a 4-weight. I do have more than one, so that is a possibility. I'm going to set that there and keep that at the top of the list. Moving down the shelves of yarn, I'm going to ignore all of my sort of posh, soft, velvety yarn. Let's take a look at this one. This is a Loops and Threads Facets. I have multiple balls of yarn in this colorway. It is a 4-weight, and the color is number 42. So it's really a nice, pretty, it's kind of a roving style yarn, so I'll have to keep that in mind. But this is another one that I think would be fabulous in a prayer shawl. Moving down, there's my cotton yarns. I'm going to stay away from that in this video. And then we've just got some random 4-weight solid color balls of yarn there. I recently got a Santa's Mystery yarn sack from Lion Brand. So there's a bunch of yarns in here. This, I believe, is a cotton. Yep, Karen Cotton Cakes. This might work if I have another ball of it, and I do, so that might work. We'll pull this one out. I've pulled out the 3 yarns, ignore the velvet, the 3 yarns that I'm thinking about using. As much as I like this one here, it's really soft, it's really nice. I'm just not sure that I have enough of it for this project, so I'm going to put that one aside, which leaves us with these 2. And I'm really torn because I really love the facets style roving yarns. The projects always come out so nice and pretty with that. And I do have quite a few balls of yarn. The pattern recommends 5 balls, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough of this or not. I think I only have 3 of these. It's 279 yards, so maybe. This one is a cotton yarn, which would go perfect with our summer theme. It would be nice and cool and drapey. This one has 530 yards and I have 2 balls. So I'll have over 1,000 yards of this colorway. I'm going to check the pattern, figure out exactly how much yarn I'm going to need for this project, and then that might help me decide which of these 2 yarns I'm going to use. So the pattern only says 5 balls of Bernat yarn, but it doesn't really say how much yards are in each of those balls. So I guess I could go look it up but I think I am just going to go with the yarn that I want to work with the most for this project. And that is the facets. Isn't that just gorgeous? So I have 4 of these. I'm hoping that that will be enough. If not, I guess it'll just be a half-finished prayer shawl. I'm going to grab the other yarns from in my shelf. And one more. Got 4. I really hope this is going to be enough. Guess we'll find out. All right. I'm going to go grab my hook and get started on this mystery make week number 3. After some careful contemplation as I was working today, I decided maybe I want to stick with the cotton yarn just to play it safe. The main reason for this is because the facets yarn, which is kind of a roving style yarn, if you have to frog that and pull it out, if you make a mistake, it's really difficult. And since I don't know this pattern, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, I don't want to have to frog and ruin a good ball of yarn. So we're going to stick with the cotton. Here's a look at how much I got done last night. I got done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. And besides that first row, let me show you on the end, we are decreasing at the start of each row. The only row you don't do that is the first row. So you have a block on top of a block or space on top of a space. And then you just start decreasing on both ends. So you get the start of the sort of the V for this shawl. Then we've got our double crochet clusters put into one of those spaces as we work across, separated by 3 of those little boxes here. Those are just chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. And you get a really nice look. So I'm super happy with how quick this project is working up. I just worked on this, started it, and got 8 rows in just in a few hours last night. This was in the middle of cooking and doing some other stuff last night. So very happy with the progress. I like the yarn. It is sort of like a stretchy type cotton yarn. It's not super, super soft, but it is definitely not scratchy or rough at all. So this is how it's looking, and we're just gonna see how much progress I can get on this tonight. We're on day 3 of working on this. This is after 2 nights of work, making some really good progress. I can get about 8 rows done in just like an hour or 2 every night. So it's going pretty well. It's a super easy stitch pattern, 2-row repeats, and the rows are just, they're very similar. So it's something that you can work on while you're sitting in front of the TV or chatting with somebody, which is exactly what I was doing when I was working on this last night. I have my stitch marker down there. That indicates the right side because apparently there is a right and a wrong side to this. So right now you're looking at the wrong side, and this side is the right side. I don't see much of a difference. So I'm just going to keep working this up and see where we get tonight. Not much progress last night. We had some bad storms and I was busy cooking and doing some other things, so I didn't really work on this too much. I got maybe another couple of rows done, but I really like how it's working up. It's a very fast, quick 2-row repeat. I think I said that in the last little segment, but it really is very quick. This is what I have remaining from that first cake of yarn. So I think I'm going to have to use part of another one because I still have quite a few rows left to do as I'm decreasing all the way across. But yeah, here is the prayer shawl as it is almost halfway finished, I'd say. Today is another day. It is Thursday, so I've not made as much progress in 3 to 4 days as I would have thought, but that's just me procrastinating, not putting a lot of time into this at once, but we'll get there. By Monday, I will have a finished prayer shawl. It is Sunday morning. I apologize for the lighting. It is a rainy, stormy morning, but I wanted to hop on here quickly and show you how far I've gotten. This is the very bottom where we started with that long chain, and I've worked a decrease going up. So there I am up here. I've just got to keep working those decreases. Obviously the rows are getting much quicker, so I'm able to work much faster. This is all I have of that first cake, so I'm going to have to tie on the second cake, which I'm going to go grab. I'm about to do that now, just so I don't have to stop as I'm mid-crocheting these last few rows. Then we work the border, which is basically just a single crochet all the way around, and then what looks to be the reverse single crochet, which I think is also called the spider stitch. We'll work 1 row all the way around in that stitch. The pattern does say to cut your yarn after you finish working the main body of the shawl and then join in one of the corners, but I think since I'm already going to be tying in the new yarn up here, I'm just going to continue on in single crochet around. So we'll see how that goes, but that is the progress so far. Sunday morning, a nice rainy day to finish this one up. So the next time you see me, I'll have a finished prayer shawl. All right, everyone, it is done. The prayer shawl, a free pattern from Mary Maxim. It'll be linked down below, so check that out if you're interested in making this. It was really a super quick and easy pattern. It took me just a couple of days, and basically it is just a mesh type stitch, and every so often you would work 3 double crochet together to create those little solid blocks. Now I used the Caron cotton cakes for this. This is the second cake. So it took 1 entire cake plus quite a bit actually for the border. Most of this cake was used just for the border, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But these are pretty big cakes. They have over 500 yards in them, and so it used quite a bit of yarn. But I think it came out really, really nice. I would like to see it done in maybe like a solid color, because sometimes when you're doing the mesh with the little solid blocks, you can't quite see that pattern when it's this self-striping or a variegated type of yarn. But regardless, I think it worked up really well. You start with a chain, so you're starting at the very top, and this thing is quite large, as you can see. And then every row, except for that first row, every row you are decreasing on each side to create the triangle point. When you get down to the point, if I can show you, you finish it off just by working decreases, and you don't have to work one of those double crochet together stitches. You just work at the decrease rows until you have one open space. The pattern says to fasten off after you finish that portion of the shawl. I didn't want to fasten off because I had just added this into it, maybe when I was like right here. So I just had a few more rows to do to complete the body of the shawl. I didn't want to have to cut the yarn and then join somewhere else. So that part of the pattern I did not follow. I simply made sure that I was on the right side. So I had to chain one and turn, so I would be working the single crochet border on the right side. And that's all I did. I worked the single crochet border, and then it says to work a spider stitch or a reverse single crochet for the last row of the border. And I did that. I was not sure if I was gonna like it when I first started, so this is where I started, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but now that it's on the entire shawl and seeing it all put together, I'm happy with it. It looks good. It creates a nice textured, different, interesting type of an edging. It's just not my favorite stitch to do. It just takes a little bit longer. I'm not as comfortable doing that just because it's kind of working in reverse. But it worked out very nicely. So I'm super happy with this. Let me try to stand up and stand back a little bit so you can see exactly how big this shawl turned out to be. It is quite a large shawl. And if we put it on, it's a really nice size. It drapes nicely over the shoulders. And with this cotton yarn, it's not the super softest yarn, but it has a nice flexibility because it is cotton. And it's honestly not a super rough cotton either. I've never worked with the Caron cotton cakes before. It was easy to work with. It's softer than like a Lily Sugar and Cream or some of those more rough cotton yarns. So I'm really happy with this. It has a nice drape. Like I said, it's not super soft, but it is kind of nice if you're making this in the summer or the spring or early fall where it has not gotten too cold yet. Using this yarn is definitely nice for like the summer type weather. But I really like the overall look of it, the feel of it, how it worked up. The only negative that I had really with this was that it was very repetitive, which sometimes I like, but sometimes I get very bored very quickly. If I had picked this up as just a pattern or something that I wanted to make, and I didn't constrain myself to the 1 week time frame, this probably would have gotten started and I probably would have worked maybe half of it and then set it aside, and it would have turned into a whip and I would have had to finish it at some point much later. And that's not because of the pattern or that I wasn't liking it or any of that. It just was so repetitive. I wanted something new. But I'm glad that I stuck to it and managed to get this done in 1 week. Again, the pattern is free. It's a Mary Maxim prayer shawl. It's a free PDF. I will link that down below, so check that out if you're interested. This would make a lovely gift for somebody that may need it. So that is week 3's project completely finished. So far we have done the floral cami, we've done the sun hat, and now we have a prayer shawl. Join me next week if you're interested to see our mystery make for next week. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.